Yo, what's going on? It's Jon Cerone. I'm back with another episode. Feel free, give me a like, follow, share, whatever you do on social media to let people know what you're doing. Really excited for everybody that's been tuning in so far. I appreciate all the support and all that good stuff. Today it's just me again. I just thought I had to get some things off my chest, really, but what else is new? I'm either writing about getting shit off my chest or telling people I'm trying to get some shit off my chest. Just kind of like wanted to talk about the importance of a couple more positive things or self-development. The last couple podcasts have been very informative, not on the mental health and chasing your dream spectrum, but, you know, obviously on the institutional aspect of the educational system and technology when I had Lisa and Trevor come on and talk about their viewpoints on that. So that was really fun. Today, I wanted to touch base on a couple things before I got started. So the whole self-reflection thing, I'm very big on it. I'm actually so big on it that it becomes a double-edged sword for the most part. I'm actually always in a state of self-reflection, whether that's a good or bad thing. I've tried to make it into a good thing, to always be reflecting on my thoughts, my actions, how I'm supposed to be a better individual. And of course that comes with, you know, it's got its downsides. Sometimes, you know, I just can't give myself a pat on the back, and that's all right. The good thing is I am able to look at the things I've said and done from a different perspective, not solely just my own pride. With that, though, I'd like to say, if anybody's got a fucking problem, that's just too damn bad. I'll be honest. If you think I'm going to be directing my malice or my opinions at a specific group of people, you're sorely mistaken, because I'll be honest, I'm coming for every single one of them, myself included. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, how smart you are, this, that, any type of label that you would like to put on yourself. I'm coming after everybody. There's not really one group of people on this planet that are doing everything so right that they don't deserve a little bit of criticism, and that's myself included. I would like to be holding the millennial generation and Gen Z, and obviously the generations to follow after the millennial generation. I'd like to be holding us to a higher standard than the previous generations have held themselves, and that's only because I believe that we can be better. If you think that I'm ragging on any of the other generations, or ours included, you'll probably just have to be a little more intelligent on deciphering the things that I'm saying and understanding that I'm probably saying these things because I care. Whether people believe that the planet is in a state of crisis or not it's not really subjective anymore, because it is in a state of peril. Whether you want to talk about a mass extinction event, rising temperatures, pollution, the uninterestedness of the human species in learning or growing, materialism, depression, suicide rates. If you want to just add everything up, things aren't looking so good. And that's all right, because it gives us a lot to work on. So if, like I said, you got a fucking problem with some shit that I'm saying, hell, drop me a DM. Hey, post on a picture. Hell, post on a picture if you got something you want me to talk about, if you want me to research something in a positive light. I mean, but if you got a problem with me, you can also fucking say that shit, you know? I'm really here to inform people that they are capable of chasing their dreams. They are capable of thinking for themselves. You have the ability to reflect on yourself. And with that reflection, I'll be honest too, I'm not retracting any of my statements. I'm here to make a difference. Whether you believe that difference is good or not is also subjective, but I'm just going to keep on fucking sending it out here. And if anybody's got a fucking problem with that, they can take it up with me. So, yeah, just thought that would... Man, that feels great, I'll be honest. Yeah, that feels great to let y'all know that. Again, I really appreciate everyone who's been giving me a lot of positive feedback about the podcast. Waiting around for some good news about the book. That's coming along. I am sending the book out to a couple people who I know are going to give me a critical review of the book before I start actually getting my feet wet in the publishing process with the self-publishing route. So I wanted to hear back from a couple people of different backgrounds and perspectives on what they think of the book, But it's moving well. Just to give people a little update on that. Today, I think it's really important after I just, spouted all of that shit about, standing by what you believe, trying to make the world a better place. Like I said, I'm trying to hold not just myself, but everybody around me to a higher standard, and that's only because I want the best for this world. I don't want the problems that we have today to be blown out of proportion in 20 years, because that might be where we're heading. And like I said, I'm going to stand by this shit, everything I think. I have very strong views on everything pretty much, but I'd like to think that I've done the legwork, research, being educated, and thinking critically about things to have these opinions. And I'm not so proud that I'll never admit to being wrong. If I'm given new information and it seems plausible, I will obviously I'm okay with being wrong. I've been wrong a million times. I've been wrong so many damn times. There's actually a point where I always thought I was wrong because I always thought I could be learning, but that was dangerous in itself because I didn't have a concrete view of who I was or what I thought. I just always thought I was wrong because in that wrongness, I knew that there was something to learn. But if there was always just something to learn, and I could never be right, then I wasn't actually using the wisdom correctly, So I had to start understanding that, I can be right if I do the work for it. So that was a while ago. That probably 8 to 9 years ago where I had that that mindset of being wrong all the time. So that's definitely changed for the better. So this episode was going to be about the importance of taking a moral inventory or a personal inventory of yourself and how I think that would be beneficial to you, whether you want to write with a pen and a paper or you want to type a note in your phone or you like sticky notes or you just typing on your computer, whatever it is. I feel that getting the words out there for your brain and for your eyes to see it, to review it, I think that's very important. Because it helps you grow. It helps you understand where you're at, the praise you deserve for the hard work you've put in, and also the things you need to work on. So last night, I think it was the first time in a very long time where I just sat down and I wrote for an hour straight. And I'm not even talking took a break here and there, checked my phone, whatever. I literally wrote for an hour straight, front and back, 4 pages in a notebook. Really good handwriting. I didn't even scribble it. It was just an hour of consistent writing, and it was just me taking a moral inventory of where I'm at, the things I've worked on, the praise I deserve, because like I've said, I'm very hard on myself. I'm very critical of myself, but it's been beneficial. It's also been negative because sometimes I don't know how to fucking relax, because I'm always just so damn hard on myself and I feel like I always have to be working towards something. So it's nice to write that shit down, be like, hey, you deserve a break. You've been putting in a lot of work, whether it's with the sobriety or working on the book or just being a healthy individual. There's a lot of things to be proud of, not in the egotistical sense. It's not even bragging, it's just happy that you're not living a shitty life or that you don't hate yourself all the time, you deserve to smile. You've been putting in that work. And then there was also some things I wrote about that I need to work on, Well, before we get into that, I had wrote something before, and I'm gonna read it. It's not like the last thing I read. I think the last thing I read was more poetic, which I do tend to be poetic when I write philosophy. But this was more just like a standalone thing. It's not really like rhyming, if you will. It was more just like kind of a positive thing that I wrote the other day. So I'm gonna just read this. So if you just like chill. Listen up. All right, here we go. Let the air stand still, for that is where the magic happens. The moments where your clouds of worry cannot tamper with the space where you exist. It is not simply a silence, for if you listen closely, you can hear the happenings of imagination. Everything. Beautiful. Patiently waiting to be pulled forth into existence. Ideas, thoughts, feelings, and actions. Any of the sorts that let the creator play their role. There is no grandiose goal or monetary gain. There is only the craft itself. The modern man of the first world degree will always attach dollar signs and things to the worth of an idea or a hobby. And how dangerous has that become? Do we even do anything because we like it anymore? Or do we do it because we think we can profit from it later? What a sad way to engage in such a life. For if I sat down at pen and paper every time with only money on my mind, I would surely only write shallow thoughts that taint the ingenuity of my craft. But this is what these resets are for. I had fallen into a trap this week, and I was afraid to write out of the fear of shallow intentions. I remind myself again that it is easier than I think to center my intuition. I do need to let the air stand still, and I do need to leave these shallow intentions where they belong, on the same pedestals and platforms that I found them on, the ones created and shared by humanity. I am not perfect. I only seek to be blessed with better mental fortitude in battling temptation. And in these moments of clarity do I find my ability to make the magic happen, to remind myself again of how truly beautiful and worthwhile it is for me to write. It is lovely, you know. Do not forget to remind yourself of your greatness. You've worked hard enough to reach your goals, so stay strong, stay up, and feel free. That last part, I wasn't really just like writing to myself too. I was like writing that to other people, you know, because everybody deserves to think like that, you know. And you may be asking like, okay, what are these shallow intentions you're talking about? And mostly it's because I'm really good at getting off of social media for extended amounts of time, like months. Hell, like I've even gone like a year or two without it. And I've talked about this in the other episodes too, but it's just it's so easy to get locked into like I said, like shallow intentions. It's like they're either trying to sell you sex or they're trying to sell you things, clothes, jewelry, experiences, a way of life, like, or you're just looking at other people living like that lifestyle that you hold on this pedestal, like. And ever since I had to start getting the social media thing back up to push the podcast and the book and all that other crap, you know, the apps are on my phone. I don't want to uninstall and install them every time I got to do a post because I got to do a lot of fucking posts. So it's difficult because, I mean, you're talking to an addict, right? Like, I've been addicted to so many things, so many fucking things. So you would think, like, obviously, if like the apps on the phone, it's addictive. You scroll for fucking days and for hours. So it's good to remind myself when I come back and I'm like, hey, you know, I don't have to write. You know, I don't have to think these shallow thoughts, or I don't have to keep picking up my phone and looking at the world from that lens. You know, I can take a step back and I can write, you know, for me. So, and then there's also the other parts that I was writing about too, where it's like, sometimes, yeah, I always got mad because I'm like, damn, am I really like doing everything I'm doing for money? Like, am I writing my poetry so I can sell it later, my philosophy, or like this book, or like everything, like how I was dancing, lights on my hand. Like, I had like viewed like every single hobby as not even like a hobby anymore. I like viewed it as a way to like, all right, if I make money off of this, I don't have to work a 9 to 5 anymore. And it killed me. It was like, it totally killed my creative energy. It like took away like why I wanted to do it in the first place, you know? So that thought always like resurfaces, but Like, I know I'm not like actually doing it for that reason, and I have to like remind myself of that. Like, I do these things because I enjoy them, and I do these things because other people enjoy them too. I'm not just doing it. Like, the number one reason isn't, yeah, I'm going to do this to make money, you know? That's what a job is for. If somebody is blessed with being able to take one of their hobbies and make it into a living, which is obviously the goal, that's great. But I don't believe that it should be the number one reason why you do it. I think there needs to be some type of intrinsic value to yourself on why you do it, for it to be truly meaningful to you, not just some monetary gain, you know? So after reading that to y'all, hope you enjoyed it. And then looking at those couple pages I wrote last night, like, I took this personal inventory of myself. You know, there are things like I'm very, very proud of, and then the things that I need to work on, obviously. Like, we had talked a little bit about the things that I was proud of, you know, like a healthy body, the sobriety, the book, you know, healthy relationships with the people I love, like all these good things, you know. And finally having a grasp on, like, some vices, you know. I'd like to think that, like, watching anime or video games, those are two things, like, I've gotten under control. I don't, like, binge them anymore. But they are a nice, like, step away from all the work and everything. It's just, like, my little thing that I get to do and enjoy myself with. So I have control over two vices that used to be pretty detrimental to my time and energy. So that's nice. These are the things to be proud of. There's other things that I need to work on, obviously. Out of everything that I still do, there's always, like, me drinking a lot of coffee, right? So I wanted to, like, work on getting my caffeine intake down. I don't have a lot of vices anymore, so I have this habit of doing really well all week at everything, and then Friday or Saturday comes around and I just eat like an astronomical amount of ice cream, you know? And, you know, everybody's got something, but the problem is I do it like right before bed. It's like it's 11 o'clock and I'm like, I gotta get some. And I just like slam a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's, you know, because it's fucking delicious. And, you know, it's not good. I got to work on that. It's funny, you know. Everybody's got their thing. I'm not trying to get too down on myself because I know that during the week I do a really good job at not eating 2 hours before I go to bed, or not even just during the week, like predominantly the whole month. You know, I do a really good job at not eating too late because I want to give my body the time to digest the food that I eat. Because I think my brother had told me, or, you know, I think Chris, a lot of people, I mean, I think it's just common knowledge, like eating like right before you go to bed is terrible for you. Because you're supposed to be giving your body the time to like heal itself, like your brain, your body in general. And if it's taking the energy to digest the food that you just ate, it now is not able to put that much energy into repairing your brain and your body. Right, so like that's just a bad habit of mine, is just eating the ice cream on the weekends. You know, I'm not trying to get too down on it, but, you know, like I said, I'm pretty fucking critical of myself. So I had written that in my little personal inventory I did last night. Another thing that I had wanted to work on is like my financial standing or finances. You know, I'm not like fucking broke, pay all my bills, student loans and all that stuff. You know, I spent some money on stupid shit. It's mostly like food. Out of all my vices, it's mostly food that I spend all my money on. And I'd like to get a better grasp of that, you know, and stop paying for so many subscriptions and shit. So, you know, I just got to bite the bullet over the next year and just be a little bit smarter with my money, because I know if I'm smarter with my money, I don't have to pick up extra shifts on the weekend. I can spend a little more time writing. I wouldn't have to be so fucking crazy about my, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. We're also in a recession and there's inflation, so I might be too hard on myself right there. But I just know I can be better, you know. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody knows that feeling, though, whether you want to face that or not, like, that's up to you. But I'm basically here on this podcast to tell you that you can think that and you can make those moves, you know, like it's possible whether you fucking think that or not. And I think taking that personal inventory is a huge step. So whatever you do, I understand. I'm recording this on Sunday. I'm dropping it tomorrow morning, so you guys got something to listen to on your way to work to start the work week on Monday. If you got time tomorrow or Monday night, you know, just sit down, maybe take a personal inventory, be like, what am I proud of? What am I happy and grateful for? And then write a couple things about what do I need to work on? What do I know I need to work on? You know, this week, do I need to stop eating so close to bed? Maybe I need to go for more walks, especially out here in the Midwest for most of my listeners. You know, the weather's nice. It's just perfect weather to go on a walk, like not late, but like after work, 5 or 6 o'clock, you know, when the sun goes down in the Midwest in the summer. It's fucking beautiful. So you got to get out there and do that. You know, find some things that you know you can change, but positively change them. And then be grateful for the things that you have put the work in and that you are grateful for. So find the time to do that this week. Take that moral, personal inventory. I think that's a thing in NA and Alcoholics Anonymous, to take a moral inventory. I think that's one of the steps in the 12 steps. But I never worked the 12-step program. No, I didn't do that. I like making my own steps. You know, I like making my own. I make my own way through that. I do a lot of empirical stuff, so it's my own experiences and thoughts that I like to create my own formulas and stuff for and put it into action. It's not to say I don't learn from other people, because, you know, I read a lot of philosophy, so obviously I have to take some people's point of view into consideration if I'm reading something that fucking dry, you know. And then there's a couple other self-help books that I've obviously read and am reading, so. But a majority of the work that I do is just based on my own self-reflection, trying to be a better person on a daily basis. If you do, I think I already said this near the start of the podcast, but if you got something you want me to talk about, definitely leave me a comment. If you got my number, just fucking hit me up. DM me, find any way to get a hold of me. Be like, hey, you know, I'm struggling with this. Like, can you talk about this? I haven't really gotten around to starting on the second. Well, I have like 40 pages of the second book, which is predominantly going to be like the bread and butter of like getting rid of bad habits and reintroducing better habits into your life. The book that I obviously am in the process of publishing right now is a more philosophical, subjective take on like the mind while chasing a goal or a dream. So if you do have something that pertains to like some of your habits or maybe some of your, you know, mental roadblocks that you want me to research, or just like quick tips on how I get around things, just drop a comment. Like, follow, and share and all that shit. I think I said that. I'm super bad at promoting this thing, but, you know, I've been under a fucking rock for so long because I just can't stand social media or the technological world, you know. I can't even say the technological world. You know, I love having music at my fingertips on my smartphone. It's basically just media, social media, that I have been hiding under a rock from. But I'm out, I'm back, I'm learning, I'm trying to get this shit down so I can get this podcast out to some people out there who feel like they could benefit from it, you know. Trying to make some moves and make the world a better place. So you can either hop on board or you can get the fuck out of the way. I don't know, I'm not that mean. But for real, you can definitely make your life better if you just keep telling yourself that. Sometimes, you know, life gets hard and you got to curl up in the fetal position on your bed, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, all right, that's over with. I can fucking get it. Or sometimes you're feeling really fucking happy and you stay really fucking happy, you know. Fucking fight those extremes, blow it out of proportion, keep living life to the goddamn fullest out there. You know, I think that's pretty much it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed this solo podcast I did. Stay fresh and stay free out there. Peace.